welcome. Let's invite Jody up here. Fine, probably.
Please join me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now the four-way test. First, is it the truth? Second, is it fair to all concerned? Third, will it build goodwill and better friendships? And fourth, is it beneficial to all concerned?
We're getting together.
I know.
Thank you. Yeah.
I do. So I worked on a little presentation here because I always love things like it on the microphone. So maybe I'll do it for you this month. Okay, my inspiration today is nature. I fell in love with nature when I was a kid playing in the woods and creeks behind my grandparents' house in Kentucky. Since then, I've been to many spectacular places in the US and elsewhere to see beauty that is nature in its many sizes and shapes. My favorite thing to do, no matter where I am, is walking or hiking. I could stop and get a close look at plants, animals, fungus, and bugs along the way. Each walk is something interesting to see. Even walking around our little town gives you lots of opportunities to see what nature has been up to since the last time I passed. I get to enjoy nature at every turn. The two people who inspire me, the inspirations I have, the first is John Muir, who helped us learn how important it is to preserve our natural wonders. He wrote, "In every walk of nature, one receives far more than one sees." And E.M. Foster, the author of Room with a View and Passage to India, wrote, "What is the good of your stars and trees, your sunrise and the moon, if they do not enter into our daily lives?" So get out there and enjoy nature.
If you haven't figured out yet, Judy's not coming today, so I'll be taking her place. She's doing well. She said to tell you hello, and she's fine. She's pretty upbeat, but she's still on the mend. We expect to see her next week. So how about, do we have any, I didn't see any visitors. I know we have a guest speaker. Would you like to introduce her? Then you'll be formally introduced prior to your presentation.
I'd like to introduce Kristen Johnson, which is the OASIS and I can see that.
All right, thanks. Well, anyone else? Am I missing anyone? Okay, how about
Somebody on Zoom.
Oh. Okay, on Zoom.
Tim was here. Pat's Assistant Governor.
How do we do it?
Hi there. I'm just sitting in there to listen.
Governor Jim, would you wave your hand and say hello?
He did, but
There you go, right?
just muted.
All right, welcome to our meeting. Thanks for being here. Okay, time for announcements.
Here's the sign up sheet on a clipboard on the pool table. And it's for the potluck that is going to be at Donna Sparrow's home at the end of the month. So if you are interested and you can join us that Thursday evening, there's a place to sign. If you have an idea of a dish to pass, Donna's husband is going to be barbecuing tri-tip. And he's using a sous vide method, so it should be quite yummy for those of us that like carne. And for those of us who are not so fond of carne, there will be a lot of vegetarian options as well. Thanks.
All right, thank you.
Okay, it's time to pass around the October sign-up list for all y'all that would like to be readers and, oh, that's right. So I will be walking around with this. We have a 5K coming up in November at Club Northwest. It is also a 1 mile walk. So if any of you are excited about coming to support us and want to do a little exercise in, the flyers are on the back on the pool table.
Thank you. Hey, one more thing. forgot to bring in card to Judy, but I did sign this kind of generic road gateway road club card. But you know, it's a thought that counts, so let's sign it and just, you know, wish her well, whatever you would say. So I'm gonna just pass it around, start right here. The lady with the pink cast. All right, I think that's it. If no more announcements, I believe we're ready for our presentation. Deb, would you like to now really introduce our speaker? Oh, one more thing. This is not mine. It is some kind of a blush or an expensive lipstick. I'm not sure. It's all up somebody left it here. Is it yours? Oh, thank you.
I thought it was a roll of dimes. All right, it is my pleasure to, introduce today's speaker. It's one of those things that, you know, it's bad news. Unfortunately, Bert Elting has COVID and was not able to join us today. And, so as we were thinking of what could we do, Kristen and I had this conversation. I shared with the OASIS story with some of the folks from the admin team, and, that was the best idea, and made me very happy when Kristen agreed last minute to come and chat with us. Kristen is the executive director of the OASIS Center in the Upper Road Valley. She's got a history of lived in this area her whole life. She's gone to SOU. I won't let her tell you details about that. But I can tell you she is a great ED. She's a lot of fun. She and Dr. Hucox make an amazing team. They entertained and answered lots of questions from Senator Wyden a few weeks back, and they were in some major conversations with folks out of Washington, D.C. And actually, one of them thought that Dr. Hucox should come and help them with their budgeting process, which is like, oh, okay. So what they do is pretty amazing for a lot of families that are starting out with challenges in the NICU, and she'll tell us more about that. The integration of the medical community, the social determinants of health, and all the pieces that have to come together for families to actually be successful and functional is pretty amazing and somewhat overwhelming, and they make it happen. So now I would like to introduce Kristen Johnson.
Thank you. You guys hear me okay? Well, thank you so much for the introduction, Debbie. I am Kristen Johnson, the Executive Director of the OASIS Center of the Road Valley. I co-direct. Oh, there we go. Okay, now you're up. Okay, thank you. I co-direct with Dr. Carrie Peacox, the Medical Director and Founder of the OASIS Center. And
Do I have a thing or do I say next slide? I think you push the down button for the next one. Yeah, and just aim it at the laptop.
you have the laptop?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Okay. So, the OASIS Center of the Road Valley is a nonprofit, family-centered medical clinic, and we work primarily with pregnant women and parents with substance use disorders. So we are working with parents with kiddos with 0 to 5 is our primary criteria. So we're working with families with kiddos during their key early childhood years where their brains are really developing, and working to support parental recovery from substance use disorders so that families can stabilize and kiddos can develop without the disruption. As we know that childhood adversity can really disrupt healthy social and emotional development. We're talking about toxic stress, we're talking about child abuse, neglect, parental substance abuse. So that is our primary criteria, and we continue to work with families. So there is no end date to our services because we are a medical clinic. We don't graduate from a doctor. We get to keep on working with families through all the stages of their kid's development and all the stages of their parents.
Came over here. Oops, yep, you have the laptop. It doesn't work. Let me see next slide. Okay. Oh, well.
So this is the clinic. We are located at 534 East Main Street in Medford. We're right across the street from Hawthorne Park. We opened in 2019 with the support of the Addictions Recovery Center. They provided 3 medical clinic spaces for us, a family room and a living room. We opened, we had 90 patients. Today we have about 1,200 patients. We've grown a lot in the past 5 years. We started with 1 doctor. Today we have 3 doctors. We have integrated behavioral health and a whole bunch of services we all go into next. But we were able to move into this building in October of 22. And we've been building this space out. We have a second phase of development coming up soon. This is inside the clinic. So as I said, we're a family center medical clinic and we have a dual generational model. So we are working with parents and we also care for the kiddos, and then we're providing a lot of family support services in there as well. So what we say is it's 2 generations. We're also thinking about that 3rd generation. When these kiddos grow healthy without childhood adversity and they have kiddos, that's going to help us to break the cycle of substance abuse and child abuse neglect. So we have a family room. We encourage families to bring their kiddos to their visits, which is a bit different than other doctor's offices. So we do that for several reasons. One is we don't want having a lack of social support or having childcare and all of those issues to be a barrier to addressing their health, parents addressing their health care and their recovery. Second of all, it's a fun place for families. We have a child therapist. They're able to come in there and do some like in the moment support. We all know what it's like to try to leave the park with our kids and they're like, I don't want to go. And it's just helping families with those transitions, with helping with positive discipline, just helping parents in general. So we encourage parents to bring their kiddos. And it's sticky while they're caring for their own care, their siblings care, sorry. And, okay, so this is a whole series of what we're doing. So, should you skip to the next one, which is the social clinic? And Debbie brought this up also. So you're probably quite familiar with the social determinants of health, but this is what we're looking at. So we're looking at all of the social factors that are contributing to people's overall health. So you can imagine that if you're unable to pay your rent, if you don't know where you're gonna live starting October 1st, you might be behind. You just lost your job, or your kiddo is in a school and they're really struggling with it. It's all of these, it's your education, all of the things that are going into your overall health. So you can imagine that if you're experiencing these, it's pretty hard to take care, to go to the doctors and take care of your health. And it really contributes to health outcomes. So we're looking at all of these pieces and we're looking at some of these overall health. So some of the things that we do to support these, we can go back to that one. That's how we came up with like our model for integrated care. We've got a whole range of primary care services. We are a full family center medical clinic. We have well child checks. We have prenatal care. We have adult primary care. We're a full children's vaccine program. We also include medication-assisted treatment for opioid use disorder. We have integrated behavioral health. So that's behavioral health providers who are able to pop into the office and talk with providers. Somebody might be struggling to continue to take their medication. Let's talk about that. How can we set up? And then we're integrating that with social support. So all of these services are helping to address some of those social determinants. I'm going to get to some of these that I'm going to highlight in a bit, but some basic needs. So we have food in the clinic. We have a partnership with the Family Nurturing Center Farm and Food Program, where they're providing fresh produce in the clinic waiting room each week and recipes so that people can take home kale and know how to make a kale and bean soup. We've got social service coordination. People are able to do, if they need to connect with access or other resources, we're helping people to navigate that. We've got employment support. So we know that having a stable job can obviously contributes to family stability and the ability to take care of your kiddos and to be able to flourish. So we have an employment support specialist that's in the clinic twice a week. And he's working with people that maybe haven't had jobs before, stable jobs,
maybe they've been incarcerated and it's a real challenge to be able to go find a job. But he's doing mock interviews with people, helping them to prepare for that, helping them to prepare what are the documents you need, how to get to work on time and some of those basic skills. And also, helping to look at skills that we have and say somebody's been to prison and they were cooking food for hundreds of people. That's a skill. How do we leverage that so that people can purchase it? We just started today at noon, a medical legal partnership, which is helping patients that have medical or legal issues that can be contributing to their health outcomes. Say they have a housing issue, there's mold in their house, they need to work on custody issues, all of these things. So having a medical legal partnership is new and I'm very excited about that. And I think I'm gonna highlight most of these other things as well, but integration of social services and primary care. So one of the programs that I'd like to highlight is our OASIS multidisciplinary team. So going back to our patient population, we're working with parents with substance use disorders, and so a lot of them may have like child welfare involvement. They can have self-sufficiency, community justice, perhaps they've been incarcerated. So the OASIS, oh God, this is an interactive one. If you click on it, there's arrows that come up. I forgot about that. So the OASIS multidisciplinary team is working with high system involved families, helping them to navigate all of these other systems that they're working. So this is kind of like a day in the life of a family in recovery. So we've got this family, they may or may not have transportation, they have to check in with their PO. They have to check in with their medical provider to get their medication assisted treatment to address their opioid use disorder. They have to connect with outpatient treatment. They may need to go into residential treatment. They've got housing issues. They may not have a stable place to live. They might be transitional housing. They're looking for child care. They're working for child welfare and self-sufficiency. It's all these things that people are responsible to check in with, and it can be quite overwhelming. The OASIS multidisciplinary team, we started at the beginning, so in 2019, and it serves a couple of purposes. One is helping these families to successfully navigate all of these systems. And each Wednesday morning, we bring together self-sufficiency. We have a dedicated self-sufficiency worker. Child welfare, we have a child welfare worker in their cases, OASIS families, and a probation officer. So everybody's able to get in the same room, talk together, and really support this family to navigate all of these different systems. And then the family comes in and checks in once a month. So they're able to check in with all these people. There's early warning signs. We're like, yeah, I haven't heard from this person. People might be able to reach out, try to catch things before they go off track. And also able to share wins. Maybe you haven't heard from them because this person knows they have a job. So it's really a great opportunity. And it also makes working between those systems much more efficient. So that's the OASIS multidisciplinary team. A little wild with the arrows there. Another thing that is really important to OASIS is our Nurture Oregon program. So Nurture Oregon is a collaboration with the state of Oregon, working primarily with pregnant women with substance use disorders, their kiddos, and connecting that with substance use disorder treatment. So we work with about 5 new pregnant patients each month that are experiencing substance use disorder. We got some statistics up there. So since January 23, we've had 75 pregnant women, and about 2/3 of those are experiencing opioid use disorder. So we are working to get those families upstream. We're working with them like, let's get this taken care of before birth, before we have child welfare involved, and having a lot of transparency with child welfare. You know, they need to be involved, and we are there to support them through that process, to support the kiddo safety. So we're working with providing prenatal care. We provide safe sleep services. We're providing peer support getting into treatment, and working with the kiddos Nurture Oregon through the first year of life. So, and then we continue working. So that's our prenatal care program. really exciting. We just opened up a therapeutic preschool program. So a lot of these kiddos were nurture-oriented kiddos, and now they're in a therapeutic preschool program. So if kiddos have experienced a lot of adversity, they could have some, big behaviors that aren't really conducive to being in a preschool program. If kids are getting kicked out of preschool and they're having this negative early childhood experience, that can really affect how they interact with kindergarten and first grade and moving through public school. So we want to work with families early on to help their kiddos to engage in school. And this is, we just started in February, but it's probably going to be about a year-long classroom for kids with the goal of removing a Head Start into other local community programs. We started this in partnership with the Family Nurturing Center, and in February, we opened up our own space, which is actually, it's called OASIS Little Acorns, and we're now serving 10 families instead of 16. So we have a 4-day per week, 3-hour day class. It has a children's therapist, a family coach, a teacher, and it is a very fun space. And we really try to engage parents a lot as well, the parent education and Muffin Mondays and all sorts of stuff. That's the new preschool program. Another thing that we have on our campus is emergency lodging. So we've partnered with On Track to provide emergency lodging. This was specifically in response to working with pregnant patients. So oftentimes when somebody's using that, it's just a very difficult time when they're pregnant. They have a lot of shame, they have a lot of fear around being involved in the system. And so they might show up for a visit and then we don't hear from them for months or at the hospital. So we really try to work to engage with pregnant patients so that we're able to change the outcomes of delivery. The emergency lodging, we just happened to buy a space that had 3 apartments attached to it. And so we call this emergency lodging because it is prioritized for women that are on the wait list for residential treatment. So everybody going in there is on the wait list for treatment and sleep spots for pregnant. So unhoused, unsafely housed, pregnant women on the wait list for residential treatment. So these are some outcomes from the first year. Most all of them went on to treatment, which is pretty incredible. It provides them with stability. They can just walk out the back door, come to their prenatal visit, get food, medical care services. So emergency lodging has been a pretty exciting addition to the clinic. That may or may not have been about 15 minutes a month. Oh, sure. I think I talked pretty fast. Let me think about some of the covered all the things. Does anybody have any questions? Yeah.
Are you familiar with the camp for new dad?
Yes, I am. I actually haven't worked with them at OASIS, but I did when I was at the Family Nurturing Center. And engaging dads is really important. So thanks for calling that out, because I think a lot of times we focus on moms, but we also work with moms and dads. So thank you. But I will reconnect them. I haven't heard about it. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Just
so I
repeat
can
the
get out.
question.
Okay, so do we integrate the 12 steps into people's recovery? So that would be when they're engaging with the treatment programs such as On Track, Addiction Recovery Center, and any of the local ones. So we're not a treatment agency, but we are a primary care medical clinic that works primarily with parents. We don't use the 12 steps ourselves, but I think a lot of the treatment agencies. Does that answer it? We do. So we have active parenting. Our preschool teacher has training in providing parenting education. So that's incorporated as part of our preschool, but it's also open to all OASIS patients. And we make sure that we have selected programs that are DHS accepted so that somebody can take that certificate to their child welfare worker. There are 2 questions, so.
You may have mentioned this, but how are you funded?
That's a great question. I didn't mention that. So we do medical billing. So people that have insurance, we're making sure that we're billing for all of the regular doctor's visits. about, we're 87% Medicaid, about 5% uninsured, 5% private pay, and I think 2% Medicare. That might add up. So we don't have what you call that like health and care mix, where we've got, insurance also, but so about 40 to 50% of our funding is medical billing. And then all of these other services really are not billable, so those are grant funded. So we're about 50-60% grant funded.
Where do these people come? Are they sent to you? Or how do you find them?
Yeah. So most of our referrals are word of mouth. So somebody might say, like, oh, here's my friend, here's my brother, here's my sister. I'd like them to be a patient here. So a lot of walk-ins, there's a lot of other service agencies that are bringing folks in. So, we're partners with On Track, Addictions Recovery. So we got a lot of referrals that way, child welfare, community justice. If there's like a pregnant patient that's incarcerated or a pregnant person that's incarcerated, we may get a referral that way. So a lot of community agencies and a lot of work. Yeah.
First of all, I just have to, this is such an incredible program. And as a child educator, I see so many young children coming into, kindergarten. Such trauma in their lives. And so your therapeutic school program, is that only in Rotary, or is that, you also have a center here in Grand House?
It's only in Medford right now, and in a lot of ways I kind of looked at it as the doctor prescribing early childhood experiences. So our doctors are saying, oh, this family could really benefit from having this extra experience. And we've focused, originally we were focusing on toddler and preschool, thinking like, if they haven't had early childhood, let's get this preschool in before they get to kindergarten. We noticed with that first few months that we had our program that it was the toddler families that were engaged a lot more. And I think by the time they got to preschool, if they didn't have early childhood, it really wasn't formalized in with the family. So we decided to put our energy into 2-3-year-olds and then helping them to stabilize and do that. But we'd love to expand. We don't have a clinic in Josephine County, but we do work with a lot of patients in Josephine County. So, yeah.
I'm wondering, are you familiar with Growing Together? That program is similar, and I know that the Family Retreat Center provided some funding for that, but it is at 0 to 5.
Perfect. I have heard of that. I don't know much about it, but we are very closely connected with the Family Nurturing Center. I used to be at the Family Nurturing Center, and Mary Curtis Gramley, who is the founder of the Family Nurturing Center, was the co-founder with Dr. Heathcox on OASIS, the OASIS Center. So I'll check in with them about that. Yeah.
So most of the people in your program voluntarily enroll, or are any of them told they have to enroll through the courts?
Everybody is there voluntarily. So like the multidisciplinary team is all voluntary. It is modeled after the family court model, I guess. But it is all voluntary. Go for it. Yeah.
Talking about children that come to school unprepared and underprepared. One of the medical aspects is fetal alcohol syndrome and the like, drug addiction. Have you been able to produce any data that shows that some of your interventions prevent children from having?
We're definitely working on demonstrating some of those outcomes now that we're 5 years old. It's interesting to have worked with families while they're pregnant and now seeing their kiddos go into like kindergarten and yeah, because we're about 5 years old now. So we're working on that. We do see some of the syndromes that you're talking about. I mean, fentanyl is like a really significant issue right now in our community. And so that really produces a lot of issues, and we're starting to see some symptoms with that as well. So a really powerful situation that's going on. So yeah, we're working on things. Yeah.
Help people connect with inmates. So that's
big problem.
Absolutely, yeah, and fortunately, so yes, we do connect a lot of people with inpatient treatment. That's really an important thing that we, sometimes we're like that really low barrier introduction, and somebody's coming in, they could be an active use, they can be unhoused, they're living on the greenway, maybe they're pregnant. They may have had their kiddos removed, there's just all sorts of trauma and, issues going on. So they're walking in the door, our peers are connecting with them, they're doing referrals into inpatient treatment. We work really closely with On Track and the Addictions Recovery Center, but we do referrals if it's co-occurring all over the state of Oregon. So that is a big focus of what we're doing.
How can people help? How can they get involved?
Thank you for asking that. That is one of the things I've been working on, building out more of a volunteer opportunity. One of the things we're working on is food and cooking meals with families, and we were thinking about a make one, share one. And so that's one of the things that, you know, I think our families is and for people, and that is something that you can, like this Saturday, you guys talking about everybody coming together, eating together at this person's barbecue. Delicious dining. So that is one thing that we're working on, is building out some cooking programs like that. We get a lot of donations. I'm always needing people to help sort donations. It gets a bit overwhelming. So that's just a really easy way to help out. We would love to have volunteers in the classroom. If anybody has early childhood experience, would like to help out in there, that would be great. Parenting classes. I have my card there. If anybody has any kids, you're welcome to reach out to me.
Is there a fundraising event that's coming down the pipe?
We do have a fundraising event, and it is going to be in April. Stay tuned. I will tell more to Debbie about the details about that. But yeah, we'll be having kind of our first big OASIS fundraiser, and she a great opportunity for fun.
I just have one question, and when you mentioned transitional housing, that's something of concern here. Isn't that same big concern of when these people are ready for transitional housing? Do you have it available?
Housing is a really big issue in our community in Jackson and Josephine as well. So we're looking at that whole continuum of housing. We're like at the very, very beginning with our emergency lodging. We're like, this is a very temporary space for people to access treatments. And then enter the continuum of housing after that. I know that On Track has a lot of housing that they're able to move people into, but you called it housing is a really significant issue. So yeah.
You have literacy issues. People don't know how to read.
That is a great question.
Do you have anybody who's doing that?
We have not had anybody provide those classes before, and yes, we do have people that are unable to read, which is, it's pretty amazing when you discover that, because you realize that how well they've adapted to this world, that they might see something like, here, just help me fill it out, you know, the form out. So yeah, we don't have any classes on that, but that's important.
Interested in the volunteering for that?
Yeah, that would be pretty incredible. So if you want to connect with me and talk more about that, thank you.
How do you measure success, and after 5 years, do you have any kind of statistics showing success?
Yeah, so that's one of the questions that we're gonna try to answer, because when we think about substance use, it's a chronic relapsing disease. I consider success somebody that may have relapsed and comes back and says, you know, hey, I fell off, I need to come back and starting over. But some of the like concrete ways that we're measuring success are, have people continue to have custody of their kiddos? Has there been child welfare involvement? Has there been any incarceration? Are people stably employed, and are kids entering school? So we're starting to measure those out. I think there's some partnerships like the Family Success Plan, which I don't know has been started by Peter Buckley, and I don't know if you guys have heard about that, but it's a really incredible initiative that he started supporting families pregnant and people with kiddos under the age of 5 with some $1,000 to support them to address their barriers. But that's going to be one opportunity to be able to track people for several years. But I think another way is we measure retention, so people that stay engaged with the services, I don't have that number, but it is, we definitely have good retention of people staying at OASIS, and, yeah, it's kind of evidenced by the 90 to 1,200 people as well, because most one person turns into two. So, yeah.
Well, since you mentioned Peter, do you take advantage of the ACEs sort of discovery of the adults coming in?
Yes, absolutely. So the ACEs, thing for bringing up was really an important piece so that's the adverse childhood experiences. So when we're talking about like helping mitigate those and avoid those with our kiddos and heal from that, we're thinking about the parents who probably had a lot of adversity. And so when they're coming in, and these are their coping skills, their substance use. I think one of the important things that Peter said is there's no maladaptive coping skills. This is working. It might not be socially acceptable, but this is their coping skill. So how can we help them to address that? How can we help the kiddos to not have child adversity and then their kiddos to not have that? So yeah, this is a really big for us. And he does a fantastic presentation, so I'll do a quick plug for Peter about these cases because it's dynamite.
Oh, yeah, it puts it on free once a month.
Yeah. Yeah. Any more questions?
Any more questions?
Well, thank you guys so much. That was really.
Kristen, thank you so much for coming, and I know it was on short notice.
Oh,
so
that's.
it's really appreciated.
I didn't have much time.
Okay, where is Kelly? Kelly is going to be our honorary sergeant at arms today.
You better say that.
Okay, first of all, I've been told that we still have cards to fill. So, cough it up. Okay. Claudia's going around taking their off. Before I start, I want to make an announcement because I was just reminded of that from this great speaker, that our literacy group is going to be starting up again. And we will be probably, I'm waiting for testing to be over. Because K-5 kids all go through standardized testing so that teachers can figure out where these students need to start working. And so I will be putting out information along with Lisa Higgins. We're going to be doing this together. On when we should start our fall tutoring. And those of you that are already signed up to tutor, please check with the DO, the district office, to make sure that you don't need to fill out that little form that takes 5 minutes to fill out. Those of you that would like to start tutoring, you will just talk to me or Lisa, and we'll get you set up and what?
Not the TO, you have to go to the individual.
School?
You have to go to the actual school that you're going to work with.
Okay, they may do,
TO is definitely away.
did they send you away? Well, how rude. Okay,
I didn't say a thing.
okay, so, but if you're, the catch with that is if you're not sure what school you want to be at. And if that's the case, you wouldn't know what school to go to. Therefore, just check with Lisa and myself, and we'll make sure you go to the school that you want to go to tutor. Any other questions about tutoring? I only do it once a week. It's so much fun. Please do it for our kiddos. We have many of them that are under grade level and need your help. We also have some that are way above grade level, and they're really fun too. Okay, we cannot deny it. We're moving into autumn, and it's magic. It's magical. And so if the leaves start to change their colors and the air starts turning crisp, there's a certain magic in the atmosphere that signifies the arrival of my and many others' favorite time of year. Fall, why do I love it? Because it brings relief from that summer heat. I'm not a heat fan. Opening the windows in the house to let in the breeze, that's just the best. Getting an extra hour of sleep when daylight savings time ends, that's a gift. And the cooler temperatures will allow for outdoor adventures. Putting comforters back on your beds, snuggling into a cozy bed. And that's not just the best, that's priceless. The trees start to adorn landscapes with reds and yellows and golds and browns and oranges. And they become crunchy as the month of October goes on. That explosion of color, you can't deny it, it's just beautiful. And then there are pumpkins, and they're everywhere. I'm seeing them already in the grocery stores. From spices to pies, to all kinds of scents of pumpkin. Fall is all about that gourd, isn't it? Whether it's football games or celebrating a holiday, or baking pies of all kinds of food that you love, or spending more time outdoors, or all of those things. Those are part of the reasons why I love fall the best, and you should too.
Okay.
But here's a poem that I really love about leaves, and it's by a woman named Elsie Brady. And it's called Leaves. How silently they tumble down and come to rest upon the ground, to lay a carpet rich and rare beneath the trees without a care. Content to sleep, their work well done, colors gleaming in the sun. At other times they wildly fly until they nearly reach the sky, twisted, turning in the air, till all the trees stand stark and bare. Exhausted, drop to earth below, to wait like children for the sky. And there you have it. All right, so it's time then for happy bucks, sad bucks. I love fall bucks, whatever your bucks are about.
Start. Well, first of all, I had my first pumpkin spice latte the other day. But we're very happy. Our daughter went to school in Boston and she's been working in biotech ever since. She's moving to Portland. She got into biomedical studies program at OHSU, and we're starting this month yet. So very happy she's back on the same coast that we're on.
Yeah.
I'm happy I've got soft, ripe, sweet things to share.
No.
I have happy books. One is for Kristen. I appreciate that she was willing to do this. I serve on the OASIS board. I'm the vice president. And so I have watched her and listened and learned about this program a long time. So special thoughts for you. The other thing is my hot thing, I made an apple pie this week, and there's just something about apple pies and this time of year. There's like 4 different kinds of apple, including the first apple that fell from the tree in our property. So it's really a special apple pie. And we are getting ready to take one of these fall tours. Fritz and I are going on a cruise, and we're getting on the boat on the ship. Sorry, it's not a boat. On the ship in New York, and we're cruising to Montreal in October.
Nice.
We did that cruise last year. Oh, it was wonderful. Anybody else? Yes.
I've had because I'm turning 72.
Nice.
Yeah. Sure, about everybody goes small and all these fans of leaves are pretty much people picking them up.
Yes.
Right, so I think this we just blow all the leaves off in the woods and it's great, but we went to town and we've got big oak trees and apparently you can't do that in town because your neighbors don't like it.
Yeah.
So we got this, we them up with a snow shovel at the pole ordeal and yeah, I'm less of a leaf fan now.
But it's all about compost and mulch. That's what you do with those wonderful leaves, or make a huge pile of junk. Hi there, and happy buck. I'm surprised I'm gonna be 75 in a couple of weeks.
Hello, as you guys have known, well, some of you do, the last couple of years have been difficult for generations in my home. It's been nothing but interesting, but my daughter, she's 38, she lost her lower limb on the right leg in March. She's doing fabulous. She's almost got her real old leg on, but she's remodeling her new place. So I'm gonna have 2 people moving out of my house. And I'll be 65 in October.
And what you didn't mention, though, is that WCST is gonna have a heart-to-heart October fundraiser, which is going to have donuts involved.
Okay.
That's a shit on hand. What did I do with myself?
She won't let you sign it.
I won't let it, I didn't just sign it. I didn't want to ruin the paint. Fell on a cruise ship. They said it was spring, but no, it is broke. And I get this off next week, hopefully. But in the meantime, of having this thing on, I had some happy bucks from my incredible husband who has taken care and stepped up to the plate doing housework and washing pots and pans. So that's for him.
I think we have everybody. Oh, whoops, that's amazing.
I have happy vibes because I just accepted a new position at Asante. Still in Asante, but I will be a project manager now. So
Right,
very excited.
all right.
Starting in a couple of weeks.
Oh, no, I just want to mention to Bella here. No, Bella, Lugosi's. Yeah, did you look at the moon last night?
Yes.
Yeah.
Did it call to you?
I just want to add one thing that's important for fall that hasn't been mentioned yet, and that of course is fall baseball. You know, everything's coming up, and we've got about a week and a half of regular season to go, so I have a happy birthday for that.
Oh, my husband, yeah.
That's right. That and gold.
I have a happy $20. I come to this meeting and I leave so happy. It is so great to see the people in our community doing the things they're doing. We are making a difference. So we gotta keep on keeping on.
Yeah.
Every single one of you is just amazing. It moves my heart. So, yay us.
Yeah, yeah. Cards.
Oh, that's right. Did we get all of our cards saved? Yay, okay. Picking a card and we'll play. But make it one of mine. Three of clubs.
Very close.
Three
The
of clubs.
Lisa.
Lost my card.
Good job, thank you. About wrapped up, first of all, thanks to all the people who helped put the meetings together. It takes a lot of effort to put these meetings together and say thanks to the greeters and Jean Marie and everyone else, so thank you. One thing I always liked about picking out the inspiration for the day is it just by chance or coincidence or serendipity-ness, whatever it is. It seemed like it would always relate to something that happened that day. So I have this book, it's by a Vietnamese Buddhist named Thich Nhat Hanh. And it's kind of about nature, and it seems to relate to what Jan said earlier, her little ode to nature. So I just wanted to share this with you.
Is it in Vietnamese?
It was, but it has been translated. Our true home is in the present moment. Miracle is not to walk on water. The miracle is to walk on the green earth in the present moment. Thank you.